The Emperor of Malambon, wary of reports about the arrival of Dark Elf invading forces besieging Kara's Tor, takes action. Seeking to kill two birds with one stone, he orders the Duke of Sender to take the city of Magi, Baradistari. This will provide his kingdom with a buffer zone from Dark Elf advances, and allow the Emperor to quickly take advantage of the chaos caused by the invasion. Amongst the farm lands on the outskirts of Baradistari, the Duke's forces come upon one of the many isolated Magi towers. These enigmatic towers litter the lands around the city of Baradistari. Taking them will not only provide a base to operate from, the value of the powerful artifacts, books and weapons are incalculable. High Mage Kellister notes the advance of a human force towards his tower. Touring his domain, he gathers his defenses. On returning, he finds humans at the foot of his tower. The bolt thrower crew set up to cover the tower, as the militia spearmen break from march formation to the left. The High Mage splits to the right, with his Dragon Knights, and a contingent of Phoenix Guard. Further to his right are the young Sindarin, and the main body of Knights. Kellister has called for his longtime friend Rana Kunir, and his Wood Elves for assistance, his mage sight telling him they are not too far away.
The Duke's huntsmen lead the way around the tower. They are backed by the order of the Panther Knights, while the Duke sends his spearmen the other way round, supported by the order of the Wolf. The Duke of Sender keeps his own wizards close to the center, unwilling to risk a rare resource, whilst in the fields more huntsmen adopt a defensive position, backed by the Duke's giant and some tundra mercenaries.
Turn 1. Kellister, panicking that the humans are already breaking into his tower, rushes forward, exposing himself to the huntsmen, who are quick to take advantage, severely wounding the mage. The first of the militia advance, interposing themselves between the mage and the bowman.
A bronze wizard advances, as the main militia regiment moves to secure the battlefield. Rounding the tower opposite them is the Order of the Panther.
The young Sindarin set up in the forest, taking cover and readying their bows.
The Flying Gold Wizard casts a spell, buffing the sharpness and durability of the weapons of his allies.
The main regiment of knights sweeps around the Sindarin.
Moving through the field, the giant advances towards the stone fence.
Dragon Knights advance, as tundra mercenaries circle around in the fields, securing the rear. Phoenix Guard move to support the knights.
The Duke of Sender sets up behind the safety of the tower. As the battle begins, both forces are evenly splitting their units to either side of the tower, scoring 2 points each.
Turn 2. Wounded and panicking, the High Mage continues to rush towards the safety of his tower. Gritting through the pain, he gathers his power, drawing from his reserves stored in the tower itself. He overpowers the defensive conjuring of the Gold Wizard, and blasts the huntsman who had injured him.
As the mage makes his way to safety, the embittered huntsman survivors do what they do best. Stalking around the tower, they spot the mage. As their arrows are about to impact, there is a popping sound and the mage is gone.
Ignoring the few scattered huntsmen, the foremost militia spearmen march forward, seeking to block the human knight's advance.
With a screech, the spearmen are shocked to find a hippogriff diving into their midst. The Duke and his pet run rampant in the ranks, destroying the unit, with a few survivors fleeing for their lives.
At the other side of the tower, the Phoenix Guard continues to advance. Unbeknownst to them, they are being watched by a bronze wizard. The main militia spearman regiment charges into the huntsmen, easily running them off, and then turn to face the oncoming human forces.
They are immediately put to the test, as the Order of the Panther charges straight into the glittering spears. Both sides take casualties, but neither gives ground. The fight will continue.
The Sindarin leave their defensive position in the forest and advance. The main Elven Knights regiment continue to lead the way.
As the Duke's giant stands behind the stone wall, his presence protects the huntsman.
A thin ethereal voice speaks to the commander of the Dragon Knights, warning him that the spearmen are in trouble, and he turns his knights around, heading to the other side of the tower. As turn 2 ends, the forces of the Duke seem to be in the ascendance on the spearman flank, whilst the Elves are set to advance on the other flank. but will they engage the giant or the spearman defending the Order of the Wolf? The score advances equally to 4-all. Turn 3. Rana Kunir and his wood elves have arrived. They advance through a field. Their fieldcraft is so good they are able to advance upon the gold wizard with swords drawn, and they easily chop him down, turning to catch out the hippogriff riding duke.
Feeling the loss of his companion, the bronze wizard turns too late to save his elder.
The melee between the Order of the Panther and Spearman continues, with neither side giving ground.
The duke, wary of the arrows at his rear, leads the hippogriff forward seeking to flank the elven forces.
But he is caught out by the nearly supernatural speed of the Dragon Knights. They drive lance after lance into the monster, severely crippling it but not finishing the duke off. He grips his great weapon and swings wildly, creating space for his wounded pet to move.
Panther Knight and Militia Spearman poke and prod each other. The forces are dwindling, but neither side shows any sign of quitting.
The Phoenix Guard and Sindarin advance, hoping to draw the Order of the Wolf out from the safety of the Spearmen. The Sindarin are able to chip away at the ranks of Spearmen.
At the same time, the huntsmen under the shadow of the giant turn their bows towards the Sindarin and cause severe damage to the unit.
The bolt thrower crew supports the Sindarin by perforating many spearmen.
At the end of turn 3, the Elven Knights have advanced to threaten many human units. The Elves seem to be in the ascendance with superior numbers on both flanks. The ambushing Wood Elves have caused the Order of the Wolf to turn from their flank, and the Duke, lucky to be alive, still faces off against a strong Knight unit. This next turn could well decide the battle, with the Elven commander facing a difficult choice on what to do first. The Elves now lead the score 6-5.
Turn 4. The Dragon Knights grip their swords tight and charge back into the hippogriff. They bring it and the Duke to within an inch of their lives, but in a miracle the Duke emerges victorious.
The Order of the Wolf crashes into the flanks of the lightly armored Glade Scouts. They trample all before them, leaving only Rana Kunir himself alive. He feigns death and disappears back into the fields as the human knights wheel about.
Remaining Sindarin continue to cut down the spearmen with their arrows. It is not enough to dissuade the spearmen, and they charge into the Elven Knights. Their numbers are too low to cause any real damage. Phoenix Guard round the tower, securing an important part of the battlefield.
In the battle's most fierce fight, the Order of the Panther and Militia Spearmen continue to cut each other down, with neither side willing to concede.
The main Elven Knight unit engaged the remaining spearmen, chopping down all and trampling their banner.
Tundra mercenaries, not willing to die but eager to show they took part and earn their gold, line up on the stone wall and cut down 2 of the knights with their short bows. They are joined by the huntsmen, and even more Elven Knights fall. The bronze wizard, seeing the Order of the Wolf avenging his elder, turns back to the other flank. Channeling his spite, he unleashes fiery destruction upon the Elven Knights, obliterating many of them. As the turn ends, the Elves hold one flank, but may not have the numbers to drive of the giant and archer support, while on the other flank the Duke is now free to secure the day for the Malambon forces. The score is now 8-all.
Turn 5. The Militia Spearmen come out on top in the fierce melee, driving the Order of the Panther back, but failing to finish them off.
A spiteful bronze wizard continues to burn Elven Knights to cinders. The last lone knight charges at the wizard, armor smoldering and skin flaking. He thrusts through the enraged wizard, ending his magical maleficence. The huntsmen begin an archer's duel against the Sindarin, whittling down their numbers.
For their part, the Sindarin turn to support the Militia Spearmen.
They are just in time to see the heavily wounded Duke dive into the flank of the near-victorious militia, wiping them out.
All alone now, the Phoenix Guard grip their halberds, advancing upon the giant and Tundra mercenaries.
The last of the Order of the Panther charge into the bolt thrower crew, but are easily seen off. The giant and Tundra mercenaries leap the wall, eager to get amongst the spoils of war. At the end of turn 5, it looks bleak for the Elves. Maybe the Sindarin can finish of the Duke, but how will the Elves secure enough vital points on the battlefield to take the day? The score is now 11-10 in the Empire of Melambon's favor. Turn 6.
The last surviving Elven knight dives past the Order of the Wolf, staying out of sight of their commanders.
While the Duke of Sender continues his rampage, this time the Sindarin are the focus of his ire.
Knowing the desperateness of the situation, the Phoenix Guard charges the giant, looking to chop him down and move on to the huntsman. Unfortunately, their halberds fail to pierce the giant's armor.
This time the Order of the Panther is able to get the better of the bolt thrower crew and drive them from the field. As the last Sindarin faces down the Duke, the huntsmen and tundra mercenaries inundate the Phoenix Guard with volleys of arrows. Lowering their resolve as the giant charges into the backing guard. His thunderous charge scatters many of the Phoenix Guard, and they continue to fall back.
As the battle ends, the Duke's forces are in control of the battlefield, free to now break into the Magi's tower. The score is 13 to the humans and 12 to the elves. While the Duke of Sender prepares to besiege Baradistari, and the Overlord of the Forbidden Isles sieges Karaz Tor, we go back in time, to a place known as the Borderlands, where border skirmishes between the Empire of Malanbon and forces of the city-states are about to escalate.